Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, you know what? That feels like the wrong deck. Let me go with my first instinct. All right, here we go. I don't know why. I feel like somebody needs to ask a question or somebody has something that they need to find out about. And I really feel like we have to unmask something. So I went with the mask deck instead. The World and the Nine of Cups. The World card is Capricorn energy. This can be new beginnings. This could be somebody who's wanting to know, like, are things going to get happier, or they want to ask another person, are you happy? Two of Pentacles. It feels like someone's either asking themselves, this is good, right? But is it? Or this is somebody wanting to ask another person, are you happy with this new beginning? Are you in this to win this? Are you content? Eight of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. It's definitely somebody wants to ask another person, are you happy? Like, are you happy with me? Or maybe this is somebody wanting to ask a Queen of Swords, are you happy with him? Hang on. Do we have like a love triangle going on here? Do we have somebody wanting to reach out to an ex and be like, are you happy with, oh God, we have a fight. This is either two people who patched things up after an argument and they're like checking in with each other, like, are you happy? Are we back on track here? Or this is somebody wanting to ask another person who's moved on from them, are you happy without me? Are you happy if you're with a new person? You seem really happy without me. Nine of Pentacles. Are you happy being single? Are you happy without me? Okay, so we had characters who had a fight. Can I just look at who they are? Who are the characters who had a fight? We have obviously a Queen of Swords, but Ace of Cups, Four of Cups sideways. Okay. They are characters who had great love between them. At one point in time, tremendous love. And God, that card's so beautiful, isn't it? It goes so nice with the backdrop that I'm blocking with my big old head. There's a lot of regret, but they're wondering if there's regret on both sides. So somebody wants to ask a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, feminine. And they could be a water sign, by the way. It doesn't have to be. But they want to ask her, are you happy? We had a big old fight. I don't know how to reach out and say, are you happy without me? Are you happy single? Okay. Hang on. Why do you want to ask her that? The World again, because could we have a new beginning? Do you still feel connected to me? You see all of the different points of light connecting. You see all these, extra sets of hands. It's like, is there any possibility for us to get this right in any timeline? Would you ever want to do over with me? Maybe these two have had a couple of do-overs already, since we see her there with so many hands. She's got 4 sets of hands. We have an Emperor upright. This is crazy because this is almost like somebody wants to say, what if we got married this time? I don't know if this is somebody like on the cusp of saying, I know we broke up, I know we had a fight, I know we've never had stability, but what if this time we got married? Because an Emperor oftentimes, goes for a very serious offer. Like the Emperors are married. Ace of Wands. God, there isn't anybody else on the planet that attracts them like she does. So no matter what else has happened between this, we'll say Emperor, so they could be an Aries, and this Queen of Swords, who, by the way, though that could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Keep in mind the World card has come out twice. So strong Capricorn in this story as well. But we can see they spy on her all the time. They wonder what's going on in her life. And her eyes draw them like a magnet. Now, they may think she, knows I'm watching on social media, and I swear she posts certain things that she knows I'll see and that I'll be drawn in by. I swear she does. I swear she knows those things about me wanting to connect to her. 3 of Swords in the reverse. I'm spying, but I don't see her looking brokenhearted. But God, she looks so good, and they are very attracted to her. Very attracted to her, but they do think it looks like she doesn't seem brokenhearted over them. No wonder they want to ask, do you miss me at all? Do you think of me at all? Or are you just happier without me? King of Cups. This is like a stab to their heart. They are realizing how much emotion they have. Now, they might also be scared. What if somebody else that they can't see is keeping her company and that's why she doesn't come across as sad? They may worry that she has like, a friend who's always waited to slide on in and take their space if ever they weren't around. There could be a concern. God, is there a King of Cups involved? Seven of Wands sideways. I feel like they're going crazy. Like, this is somebody who's got the bird brain. There's the buzzing all over. They're not sure, but they're really wondering about this. They're really worried about this. They're really hoping that she doesn't already have somebody else. But that's a big concern to them. So you clearly want her back, is what this looks like. Tell me about that Emperor. The Emperor energy. Page of Pentacles. They are like, why didn't I ask her to marry me before, a long time ago? The reason I say it that way is because Page of Pentacles is like, we should have had this conversation. I want to have this conversation. But we see the skeleton of a bird and the skeleton of the serpent wrapped around her, and they're like glowing. And so it looks like this is something that should have happened a long time ago. That bird, the message right to her lips. Maybe these two did talk about connection, like building a stronger connection or having a marriage, being married. And now he's like, why didn't I ask her to marry me all that time ago? Well, it sounds like you two have been busy having fights. Emperor, what do you think the fights have been about? Two of Wands. I don't know if they were unprepared to commit. I sincerely hope it wasn't that they had a second person that they were debating between her or somebody else. Lady in red, lady in white. Two of Wands is a choice between two different life paths. Let's get to the bottom of this. Strength card. I think that they weren't sure that they were cut out for long-term relationships. So maybe the fights were about like, what are we doing here? And they hadn't yet, you notice that this is like the egg had to hatch and crack, and we have the serpent here. It's weird because normally the serpent is on the death card. Here they put it on the strength card. And normally we see like a lion or, at least some other furry beast on the strength card. I've never seen any strength card with a serpent on it. And especially not one all wrapped around her like that. It makes me think that they were fearful of long-term commitment, and they had to mature first to be able to say, yes, of course I want to be in a long-term commitment. I want to be married. Was that where the source of the real contention was then? When I said, what were the fights about? It was like, because it was what path are we going to take? Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is clear, direct action. And it definitely feels like they weren't being clear and direct, and things needed to change. They needed to reach out, hold on to her, tell her what they wanted, is what it seems like. And they couldn't do that at that time. Let me ask, why were you unable to do that before? Four of Wands. If they feared that being married would notice now they're like trees, made out of trees. And it's like, oh my God, if I get married, like this is going to be it. I'm going to take the marriage really serious. But then trees don't exactly move around, do they? They get rooted in one place. And they might have been afraid to be rooted in any one place. Even though she was the person they wanted. That Four of Wands is upright. Like they knew it would be such a happy life. Why were you scared if you knew it would be so happy and it would be perfect for you? Why did it seem like you didn't have the strength to be in that kind of a commitment? Nine of Cups upright. This is almost a concern about her. What if she's not going to want to stay with me all that time? I didn't think about it like that. What if they were worried? What if she doesn't want to stay with me? Is this person older than her? An emperor is usually older, okay? Older than empresses older than kings and queens. I'm wondering if he was scared of making a long-term connection, because what if she doesn't want to stay? Has she had enough time to be single? What if she is not totally, happy being in a commitment with me because she still needs to do stuff for herself? How interesting. That may have been a consideration on his part, because his bigger worry was about her happiness, not actually about his. The Lovers. Maybe he thinks he is kind of like somebody that might not be very exciting, and then she'll get bored with him. He thinks she's okay, she's always the lady in red, right? I wonder if that's even why he thought about two different paths. Like maybe I should be dating somebody that's like older, less vivacious, less, stunningly gorgeous. And, it almost feels like he didn't want necessarily to choose the person he was most attracted to and head over heels for, because it would make him more vulnerable. And then what if she doesn't want to stay with me later? Or like I said before, maybe it's like, no, I probably should marry somebody older, somebody who, isn't like looking for maybe a different chapter of her life still. Now this is him like making decisions on behalf of somebody else, which is never a great idea. But you notice he feels like he's the one who has more to lose, because his chest is made of a house of cards, and he's looking at her, and she is like this infinite mystery. She's alluring, she's, courageous, she's always dressed in red all the time. We keep seeing that for her. When he thinks of her, he sees her dressed in red. He sees her as this incredibly sexy, bold, head turning. And then even here, she's like opening up her garments here. And we see like she's this huge mystery to him. But she's the one that he wanted. But I don't think that he wanted to address marriage, because he was always scared. But what if then she commits to me, but then she doesn't want to stay? And now he's like, but the reason we broke up and the fights we had is because it seemed like I wasn't the one showing her what direction I wanted to take. So then I looked wishy-washy. I don't know. This is a different spin on a storyline that I haven't seen before. If that was his big concern. Now, even now, though, you notice all of this is like, are you happy? And with the World card, maybe he thinks like he's let some time pass, and now maybe she's had time to whatever, sow her wild oats or do whatever he imagined she needed to do. But oh my gosh, this feels like such a backwards thing to do, because he always wanted to be with her, like always. And yet there was this sabotage, basically. So let me ask this. In fact, let's go over to her for just a moment and say, where are you at? Divine Feminine, Queen of Swords. Because she's somebody who expects truth. Ooh, Knight of Wands sideways, Ten of Swords sideways. In truth, he confused the hell out of her. She thought he was maybe a player, but that didn't quite add up. She thought, well, he doesn't want to be with me, and I sure don't want to be with him because this is a hot mess. Only then again, that doesn't seem true. He seems to be devastated over the loss, but then why is he making it so that we have to not be together? I think she was very confused by this. I'm confused by this. Four of Coins. He's holding back, but I sense he doesn't want to. I don't get what the heck he's doing. All of these cards coming out sideways for her. I definitely feel like this was a head trip. Okay, so let me just say this. Are you happy without him? I mean, this is the question he wishes he could ask. Ace of Swords. This does not answer the question other than to say, I am cutting him out of my life. I'm not going to let myself think about that. I'm trying to look at other wishes that I have for my life and move on with the dragonfly. Do you want to hear from him? Justice. She's like, oh, hell yeah, he owes me about 1,000 explanations and a whole hell of a lot of apologies. Yeah, she wants him to make this right because she was left so confused. He owes her explanations. So funny, because I said, I feel like somebody has to ask something. And all this time I was thinking it was him wanting to ask her, are you happy without me? Or have you forgotten me? Are you happy without me? It's almost like he said, if I walk away from her for X amount of time and she moves on and forgets me, then I'll know I made the right choice in leaving her alone. On the other hand, if I reach out to her later and it turns out she's not happier without me, she does want me in her life, then I could feel more secure and like okay, then I could, not be so scared that what if she's going to dump me later on. I thought it was him asking these questions. I didn't realize she's the one who has some questions in all this too. And it's about time to hear all of this. So to me, it feels like a big reveal is coming up, since he's heavily thinking about, like, I really want to know, is she happier without me? And there's something about the world coming out twice. I don't know if it's been like 2 years or something, or the world definitely shows passage of time, and the wheel of fortune shows divine timing as well. But here's the thing, we're at the cusp of either a brand new beginning, or she will literally be like not interested in ever connecting to him again. Look, I know this is a tough, bumpy storyline. It just is what it is, though. I don't get to pick the cards. So she's at a point where she says, yeah, he owes me a lot of things, a lot of explanations to make things right. But honestly, I don't think I'll ever get it. So it's time for me to let this go. She is this close to like forcing herself to not even think about him again. And I mean, I kind of get it, because this looks like it's been really unnecessarily painful, and the devil. In fact, I think she's starting to think, oh, he was just absolutely nobody to tango with. He was just a very toxic person. Look, how else is she supposed to think about this when this is the way it played out, right? So let's go back over here to him and be like, if you got questions to ask, if you have something to say to her, you better act fast. We have 9 of Pentacles. We have the Fool. There is some energy where he's like this close to doing it. This is somebody taking that leap of faith, coming up out of the grave. So this is definitely him coming out of nowhere, particularly at a time when he sees her doing very, very well. Because remember, he's been keeping tabs on her. But it feels like, I don't know if this is like first thing in the morning, he's going to be just like going to talk to her. 9 of Wands and the 2 of Wands. There he goes again, though, with second guessing and thinking about things. He was just a second ago, he was like, I'm coming to talk to her. And then it's like, oh, wait, oh my gosh, what if she's moved on? High Priestess. What if she's moved on? What do I do then? 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords in the reverse. Deep down, I feel like he knows he owes an explanation as to why he withdrew from the concept of marriage, and he needs to fix the fight that they had. I think deep down, he's like, I don't know that she'll ever forgive me. And she may not, but I do need to talk to her. This isn't about like, okay, now I wonder if she'll be with me. This is more like, oh my God, I owe her an explanation for everything. Even if it's just to maybe explain, and then she's still going to tell me to get lost, and I'm going to have to move on without her, and I'll always think about her. But it's almost like he's at that point where he's like, oh my God, what have I done? There's that World card again, sideways. This says he knows, if he was hoping somehow, if this was some weird grand plan that someday then I'll come back and then we'll see if it'll still work. He's realizing that was not a good grand plan. In fact, she may not want anything to do with me, but I have to go talk to her. That's where we leave this. I don't know what she's going to do. Especially, I don't know if he's getting there in time, because she's holding that scythe and she got the egg timer. This is either he's going to come in just in time and maybe this thing can be salvaged, or this is all she wrote and this storyline is over because she's already done. So I don't know exactly what to say. It's up to her, but I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribe.